world that I first had the urge to communicate. Until that moment, I had never felt the need to open up to another person, not to my parents or siblings, let alone to any of the other children at my school. Now, suddenly, a feeling lived in me, for which I had neither name nor number. It was a little like the sadness of 6, but different. I eventually learned the feeling was what we call loneliness. I had no friends. But how could I make myself understood to children from whom I felt so estranged? We spoke differently, thought differently. The other children hadn't the faintest idea, how could they, that the relationship between 89 and 979 was like the relationship between, say, diamond and adamant. And with what words might I have explained that 11 and 49, my mental logograms, rhymed? A visual rhyme. I would have liked nothing better than to share with my classmates some of my poems made of numbers. 61, 2, 2, 2, 2, 11, 131, 49. But I kept the poems to myself. The children at school intimidated me. In the playground, every mouth was a shout, a snort, an insult. And the more the children roared, the more they laughed and joked in my direction, the less I dared approach them and attempt to strike up a conversation. Besides, I did not know what a conversation sounded like. I renounced the idea of making friends. I had to admit that I wasn't ready. I retreated into myself, into the certainties of my numerical language. Alone with my thoughts, in the relative calm and quiet of my bedroom, I dwelled on my number shapes, on their grammar. 181, a prime number, was a tall, shiny, symmetrical shape, like a spoon. When I doubled it, modified its shape with that of 2, which was a sort of doing number, it equated to a verb. So that 362 had the meaning of to eat or to consume, more literally, to move a spoon. It was the mental picture that always announced that I was hungry. Other pictures that rose up in me could morph in a similar way, depending on the action they described, and whether it was external or internal to me. 13, a rhythmic descending motion, if a raindrop on the window pane caught my gaze. 26, if I tired and sensed myself drifting off to sleep. My understanding of language as something visual carried over to my relationship with books once I became a library goer, and regularly tugged large, slender, brightly coloured covers down from the shelves. Even before I could make out the words, I fell under the spell of the adventures of Tintin. The boy with the blonde quiff and his little sidekick dog, Snowy. Speech in bubbles, emotions in bold characters and exclamation marks, the story smoothly unfolding from picture to altered picture. Each frame was fit to pore over, so finely and minute.